Hello, everybody. Today we're going to do towns that are controlled by zombies and spirits. Not all spirits are evil in these lands, but they're in this land mostly. But you can find zombies and spirits scattered all over the lands of the in-between lands. Here you go. Hope you enjoy. It'll be coming on shortly.
1. Zombie Town. In the town of Zombieland, the streets were always eerily quiet. The once bustling town was now home to the undead, who roamed the streets in search of their next meal. The buildings were crumbling, and the air was thick with the stench of decay. Despite their gruesome appearance, the zombies lived in relative harmony, forming their own twisted society. 2. Spirit Town. In the town of Ghostville, the spirits of the deceased roamed freely. Transparent figures floated through the streets, their presence sending shivers down the spines of the living. The buildings in Ghostville were old and decrepit, with a haunting beauty that seemed to defy time itself. The spirits lived in a state of eternal unrest, unable to move on to the afterlife. 3. Zombie Town. The town of Deadwood was a desolate place where the undead lurked in the shadows. The zombies in Deadwood were a diverse bunch, ranging from freshly turned corpses to skeletal remains. Despite their differences, they all shared a common goal: to feed on the living. The streets of Deadwood were littered with the remains of their victims, a grim reminder of the town's dark secret. 4. Spirit Town. In the town of Phantom Hollow, the spirits of the departed wandered aimlessly. The ghostly figures drifted through the misty streets, their ethereal forms glowing in the moonlight. The buildings in Phantom Hollow were ancient and crumbling, their walls whispering tales of a bygone era. The spirits in Phantom Hollow longed for release, but were bound to the town by some unseen force. 5. Zombie Town. The town of Rotting Hills was a grim place, where the undead roamed freely. The zombies in Rotting Hills were a relentless bunch, their decaying bodies driven by an insatiable hunger. The streets of Rotting Hills were littered with the remains of their victims, a macabre sight that sent chills down the spines of any living soul who dared to venture into the town. 6. Spirit Town. In the town of Wraithwood, the spirits of the deceased lingered on. The ghostly figures drifted through the mist-shrouded streets, their presence a haunting reminder of the town's tragic past. The buildings in Wraithwood stood silent and empty, their walls echoing with the whispers of the dead. The spirits in Wraithwood yearned for peace, but were trapped in a state of eternal limbo. 7. Zombie Town. The town of Gravestone Valley was a place of death and decay, where the undead ruled supreme. The zombies in Gravestone Valley were a fearsome sight, their rotting bodies twisted and contorted. The streets of Gravestone Valley were lined with tombstones, a grim reminder of the town's dark history. The zombies in Gravestone Valley were relentless in their pursuit of fresh flesh, their hunger never satisfied. 8. Spirit Town. In the town of Spectre Falls, the spirits of the departed roamed freely. The ghostly figures drifted through the misty streets, their ethereal forms glowing in the moonlight. The buildings in Spectre Falls were ancient and crumbling, their walls steeped in the memories of the dead. The spirits in Spectre Falls longed for release, but were bound to the town by some unseen force. 9. Zombie Town. The town of Corpseville was a place of horror and despair, where the undead reigned supreme. The zombies in Corpseville were a relentless horde, their decaying bodies driven by an insatiable hunger. The streets of Corpseville were littered with the remains of their victims, a gruesome sight that sent shivers down the spines of any living soul who dared to enter the town. 10. Spirit Town. In the town of Haunt Hollow, the spirits of the deceased lingered on. The ghostly figures drifted through the mist-shrouded streets, their presence a haunting reminder of the town's tragic past. The buildings in Haunt Hollow stood silent and empty, their walls echoing with the whispers of the dead. The spirits in Haunt Hollow yearned for peace, but were trapped in a state of eternal limbo.